Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to do a video in a format that I really enjoy doing, and that is using a synth for the first time. And we're going to be using Sonic Academy's Anna 2 synth. This one comes highly requested. I'll load that in, and I'm going to drop in the multi-analyzer so we can see what's going on. And let's just open the store page here, what she looks like. Features include morph your sound with 3D wavetables, import your own wavetables. You get something called a G envelope, which is a graphical envelope which you can draw in and do some fun stuff with. You can import your own samples, which is pretty cool. 24 built-in effects, drag and drop effect reordering, polyphonic step arpeggiator, instant chord progressions, which is pretty cool. I want to check that out. Hopefully it has MIDI out. Modulation matrix, which is expected in a modern synth. Macro controls, which is also, pretty expected for ease of performance and things like that. Over 500 presets included, 46 high quality filters, and that looks like that is it. So let's take a listen. Sounds pretty cool. So let's go over things at a glance, which is a good way to go about things. So we have, the preset loading up here. Obviously, the voice count, which is very useful. This tells you how many voices you're using if you're getting like note stealing, things like that, and a VU meter and volume. Also a really nice button right here. I'm going to click that very soon. So typically how synths work is you program them left to right. This one, you program it like top to bottom. So we have our oscillators here, which is a good starting point. Oscillator 1 through 3. We got 1, 2, and 3 oscillators with the wavetables, and got sources for FM and things like that. Plus, your octave semitone. You can control the voicing, the pitch, all that fun stuff, key tracking. And then we have this sampler over here, which I completely messed up. Let's do that again. We have our sampler. Can I make a square? Yeah. With 4, 5, and 6, channels. And these all kind of get summed into the oscillator mix, so you can mix them all. So you got three oscillators and 3 samplers, and samplers are, used to play a sample, which could be a single cycle, it could be a hit, a burst of white noise, a hi-hat click for sound design. You can get some really cool sounds with a sampler, also really neat. So yeah, there's that. Boom, and then we have our filter section, dual filters. So what that means is, from what I can see, we have filter 1, cutoff, resonance, envelope, and drive, and then filter 2, cutoff, resonance, envelope, and drive. And then we have separated. We have, of course, the options for the filters in series or parallel, which means the filter 1 feeds into filter 2, or you can have the signal split and they're both filtered independently. And then they go into, I guess, a la Silence 1, similar, is both the cutoff knobs can be controlled by this master cutoff and master resonance, which is pretty useful for tweaking and automation and stuff like that. It's also really neat. So we have hardwired to that the filter envelope, which is right here. Attack, decay, sustain, release with curve and velocity, and that is mapped to the filter. This one is mapped to the amplifier, which is the loudness. So ADSR, the loudness, or the amplifier. And then we have a modulation envelope here, which is pretty nice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 modulation envelopes, which we can map to anything using the modulation matrix down here. So we can do stuff with like pitch and the pulse width and anything you see on here can be modulated with these envelopes, which is pretty cool. And then we have this guy right here, which is more of a complex envelope where you can actually draw it in and do some cool stuff. And we have 1, 2, 3 of those, and I'm assuming that is the full screen option, so you can draw them in. So you have 4, 5, 6, 7 envelopes. Very powerful. And then we have our LFO section, which is down here. Got our LFOs, 1, 2, 3 LFOs, which are single cycle waveforms that loop, and you can modulate things with that. So you can get like vibrato, things like that. You can also make LFOs in the G envelope. If you hit loop on that, it'll just repeat the envelope over and over again, kind of like Serum. There's that. So down here, we have our macros, which are, I assume, can be assigned to anything. So I believe this is connected to that. This is connected to that. Delay. Delay is connected to that. And then reverb is connected to that. And you can control multiple things and have this kind of visually. And I'm assuming you can create macros that can control multiple things at once. And that's equally fun, in my opinion. And then you have an EQ here, which I think is, it can be useful, and it's readily available. I'm not sure if this is after all the effect, if like it's like directly before its output. But yeah, I guess we will find out. Down here we have our, keyboard control. So we got modulation and pitch, and this is like a mod wheel amount that we can. Well, that was a pitch, but mod you can use the same way as a macro. It's the same kind of value, but it's on your keyboard, and it's kind of like one of those things that they had for just traditional reasons. Right next to pitch, you can have the mod wheel modulating the cutoff. You can have it modulating the rate of one of your LFOs, etc., etc. Very useful. We have our pitch wheel here. I messed that up. Anyway, which changes the pitch of your oscillators or samplers, and the bend amount here controls how much it will be the amount will be affected. So right now it's set to 2, which is 2 semitones. If you want to go up an octave, that's 12. Up 2, you're going to want to go 24. We have our polyphony, which tells you how many voices you want to play at once. So you can have that set to if you want to like have pads and stuff like that, chords and things like that with a long release, you're going to want to boost up the polyphony. If you want it to be like an analog synth, you're going to want to click that mono button, which will have it set to 1 voice, like the old analog synthesizers. So there'll be no more than 1 voice playing at the same time. And then there's that. Then we got the usual suspects: portamento, legato, and slide. So these guys will dictate when mono is selected, how it bends up and down. It'll sound pretty cool. And over here, I'm assuming this is what you use for the chord memorizing. I'm not quite sure how that works. We're going to figure it out together because that's the format of the video. And I'm using, for those wondering, 2.0.7b, which is beta, and I'm using Ableton Live 10, and it's licensed to this freaking guy. So let's hop to it. Alright, so yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'm gonna hit this button because this is init. And this is my favorite preset. And we started out with a saw. It's very useful. I can verify it is indeed a saw wave. And yeah, let's just start out with our first kind of section here. So we have our waveform, and I'll click on that, and yeah, the usual suspects for a saw, sine, square with pulse width. Right, so that's really cool. We can increase the pulse all the way up to 100%, so we get a silent oscillator, which can be useful in certain situations. Triangle. And MS square 3, which I think would be bug from the MS-20. MS square, also different squares. Saw 101 from the SH101. Saw fat, different analog saws, kind of taken from various things. You have the legacy waveforms, which is pretty cool. So these cool, when you get like into these waveforms with all these kind of harmonics, you get to, let me just turn off, let's turn on super resolution. You can get some really neat bass lines. There you go, I turned off smoothness. So yeah, you can just get some really neat bass lines and just distort and do some crazy stuff. And then you got these guys here. All right, and there is that. Let's go to the 3D wavetables here. So you can morph in between, you know, different wavetables and get these really neat kind of effects here. What else do we got? Day X. That'd be a really cool kind of psytrance thing, potentially. All right, you can just have these as a kind of excellent starting points. And all of that. And yeah, you don't need to actually, you know, or that. So that's like future house. All right, so let's take a look at that, or let's just leave that. So I want to modulate that with this envelope right here. So I assume I just right-click, mod envelope 1, turn that down, depth. All right, I gotta turn that down, actually. We can adjust the curve as well. All right, there's that, which is pretty neat, and I'm assuming that is in the mod envelope. So let's just get rid of that. I want to check out an important feature, which is the G envelope, which is pretty gangster if you ask me. G envelope 1. And G stands for graphical envelope. I essentially made it full screen. And let's get this guy open. Is it mapped to velocity or something? Oh, yeah, so I gotta have this. Oh, you know what? I have to have that re-triggered. Very important. Very cool. I have this bug in here and it's making me angry. Yeah, pretty powerful. Exciting. Right, let's get some house going on as an example. That's pretty fun, and that is just with this waveform and the G envelope mapped to the morph. You can copy it, I don't care. Yeah, that's it. And there you have it. Just make sure retrig is on. That should be on by default, in my opinion, because then it's just an LFO. Anyway, whatever. So let's check out the init again. So something I like to do is listen to the filter. Now the filter is already mapped to an envelope. We don't actually need to get anything going on here. So let's go. Yeah, let's just keep that there. Is that mapped to N1 or N2? Oh, is that? Okay, so it's modeled after a different kind of filter curve. So it's a little bit different reaction. So that's all well and good. Let's go map this to envelope here. Oh, I might want to select a filter. So let's go. Got a few here. Roly. Be like a Roland. Is that a low pass or a high pass? It is a high pass. Or, sorry, a low pass. Let's make this sound a bit more interesting. Let's boost these voices. Okay. And yeah, that's just with that. So let's be the Roly, Moog. Very neat. Let's add another oscillator here. So go 7. So can we trigger this one? How does this one? Help. So we got. We got an oscillator 2. How do we get this running? Oh, I gotta turn on a voice. Huh. Very cool. Then we can mix them here. So you gotta give it a voice, or else it's like, what am I doing? Can have up to 9 voices. Alright, so I'm gonna init again, because I want to get into these vowels. Boost the res. Oops, not that much. Alright, so you can get like that talking bass sort of thing going on. Which is essentially like a bunch of peak filters put together. You can actually see it here. And then we can right click and just map that to an LFO. And we'll retrigger that. We can sync it as well. Let's turn off loop, so maybe we can do something. We can use this as a, oops. We can do stuff like that. Whoa. All right, let's init again. So we got other, which are these phase ones, 2-pole plus saturated. I guess that would be 12 dB per octave. Always interesting. Oops. Comb. Oh, we got formats. All pass 6 pulls. Yeah, so you have all pass 40 pulls. That sounds dope, actually. What does that sound like? I'm going to use an effect. What does that sound like with distortion? So yeah, we can use these filters in a series now, and we can just get a low pass in there. Right, as that, you can just add a sub oscillator and do all sorts of fun stuff, and that's just with a saw and that 40 pole crazy ass filter. Very neat. Then we got format. I'll turn off the tube drive. Oh, it's in this one. All right, so there is that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it's basically. Well, actually, I gotta check out the sampler. So yeah, there's a way. So how you effectively kill an oscillator or turn it on is like there's just the voices. So that kind of confused me for a second. So now we got nothing coming through the synth, and let's check out our waveforms. So we have our attacks. All right, so this is looped. So let's turn that off. Go retrigger so it plays at the beginning. Punch was that? All right, yeah. So you can get like really fast kind of snippets of sounds. We can go to church as well. Cool. Yeah. So we have that, and then this guy with like a bunch of voices. We got a bit of a punch there. And we can just make house all day. I want to check out some here. I guess we have our arpeggiator here. Turn it on. Okay. I might not be able to get into this. So how would you... I know this is out of the scope of this video. Note order. 16 steps. Yeah, so I don't hold. Jeez. Let's give us a filter here. Oh. So you gotta. I get it. So you hold multiple keys at once. That is actually ghetto fabulous, if you ask me. So you could just hold two notes, and then just the third is played where you tell it. That's just that's pretty cool. I want to go through more of these. Whoa. All right, I wanna hold on. 2-finger. Let's just do that. Okay, so I want note 1 to be like. And then note 2. I don't want that one. I do not want it. Right there. And then this guy. Cool. Very neat. And with the gate. As an example, that is something I'd like to dive in more. Pretty intuitive, pretty fun, and yeah, you can actually output like a step modulation, and then no, you can. That's pretty dope. What's that one called? Arp Mod 1? Arp 1? This one in? Yeah, totally. Totals. Could do all sorts of fun stuff. Awesome. Fingers crossed for MIDI out for all these arpeggiators and stuff like that. That would be quite a thing to see. Okay, so there's that. Let me init. I want to go into the chord memorizer. Okay, we got strum. It tells you what note it is. What about multi? No. Look at this. So chord memory location. So I want. No, I don't want that. Let's go multi. Okay. Huh. That, whatever. That's okay. So they're correlated. Oh, okay. All right, that sounds a little cheese, but whatever. We're not here to win any awards. Oh, I might want to get that one. Oberheim LP. All right, this is kind of like Cthulhu in a way. Can you copy over? All right, just as an example. I want to go 90s. That's actually pretty cool. It's a good way to kind of. So if you know what chords you want to do, or you're just kind of doodling around, you can find some, and you can also learn. Okay, let's go up an octave. Let's learn. All right. Oh, and it goes to the next one. Okay. All right. Turn that off. Oh, I gotta turn off my scales. Neat. Oh. So yeah, now you got some easy chords going on. Anyway, that's neat. Really enjoying that. So we got our EQ here. Looks pretty powerful. Be great if we turned it on. We get some neat vibes going on there. Oscillator mix, obviously. Modulation matrix. And macro matrix. Oh, so there's two. Cool. Okay. Settings. I was already there. Yeah, so that just leaves us with these effects that we have. We can move them around, like they said. They weren't lying. All right, so we got chorus there. I'm actually going to keep that. Another insert. Delay. Turn off, turn down wet. That is dope. What else do we got? Modulation, chorus. We got some distortion, high gain tube, different shapers. We'll put a limiter on there. Put that right at the end. And we got this guy here. Let's go. A hall reverb. Alright, so we got some like house chords going on here. And we'll get some dynamics. We'll get a compressor on there. Get the ratio up there. Nice. Nice, nice. And then you have different sends here, which you can send. Oh, you can also import samples up here. So yeah, that is pretty cool. We can also pan. Is it useful as well? Yeah, that has been my first time using Anna 2. Quite enjoyable, pretty cool. Especially the Arpeggiator. It's done in a clever way, and the chord memory. You can get some house going on or whatever you want to do. Yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how you liked it. Thanks for your support on Patreon, and check out the links in the description. Hope you learned stuff, and have a good one.